Because those people are resisting arrest.
This is a video for the Tripowin X HBB Olina. This is an involved video with lots of stuff to talk about, so you can use the chapters below this video to skip to the part that you want to see. You might just want to see music and that's it. Chapters are going to look like this. Chapter 1, Intro to the Olina, of course. Chapter 2, Look Back at Mele. I'd like to talk about Mele briefly because a lot of you watching probably have the Mele. I'd like to talk about that. Chapter 3, The Contest, which is these cards right here. That's going to be fun for some people. Chapter 4, OEM/Red Eyes. Chapter 5, Music Talk. Of course, it's right in front of you right there. And then Chapter 6 is closing. Let's get into Chapter 1 while we're doing this. Chapter 1 is the set itself. It's got my logo on the Y-split. I didn't know that till it came, and nobody ever said that. I think someone else spotted that in a picture, and I didn't even notice it. That's cool as hell. It's like a powder coat gunmetal. It looks sharp as hell. It's just a beautiful set. I'm so stoked with how this came out. The shell, if you bought the Mele, you know it's very durable. If you try to take it apart, you know you really got to put in a little bit of work. It's a tank. It's built really, really well. This is reflecting the stuff off of the ceiling. It's got a really nice coat on the top of it. It is a single dynamic driver. The driver within is a driver that was provided to another company 4 years and 3 years ago to put into a set. And it was successful, but it was a little bit too expensive for some people. And it's got its following. A lot of people like it. A lot of people liked it, but it didn't fit them. That driver is now available to be purchased at a factory by anybody that wants to buy it. You can buy it probably online, and I'll get into that later. So it's a high-quality dynamic driver in a shell that fits really well because it's pretty much the same as a Mele shell with a slight tweak to the nozzle that it was addressing some of the moisture buildup issues and also to get the tuning correct. So that is an introduction. It's a beautiful set. $99. The first 500 have these cards right here, but I'm going to talk about them in a minute. I'm going to stop this video because that is the intro. That's Olina. It's a beast of a $99 set. I don't think anything touches it in its price range as far as a single dynamic driver goes. I don't think so. And I'll explain to you why. And that is the intro to Olina. If you came to Chapter 2, it's because you want to hear about Mele. So let's talk about Mele. Mele is a set that was built using my library. When I talked about the set, I talk about music in all of my reviews. So tuning a set was very fun because I was using specific things like the kick drum in this album that I happen to be on right now, the cymbal strikes that are on this album, Hey Hey What Can I Do by Led Zeppelin, the bassist performance on Sultans of Swing, which is this album right here. That's actually not the correct cover right there. This is a very higher quality than this one right here. But I discussed in the Mele video, which is why it sold so many thousands and thousands of sets. I said it does this specific thing well. And that resonated with people because they buy earphones to listen to music and they want to hear, like, what exactly are you talking about? Will it do this good? Will it not do that good? My opinion was that using my library, 4-string bass guitar, drum kits, male vocals. I didn't really speak about female vocals. Male vocals, the Olinas for female vocals pretty much. Cymbal strikes sounded accurate using Hey Hey What Can I Do and John Bonham strikes, which are clear and crisp, and they happen many, many times throughout that track. That was tuned for people that listen to music like that. Now, 5 months later, how did that turn out? We've got to take a look at that. This is 952 people, some you might be watching this video right now, that took the time, because you're happy or you're angry, to leave a review, good or bad. It's people all around. I think that's Argentina, Japan, Brazil, just people from all over the world. So I would say 5 stars is what I want, but 4 stars is, you can't be perfect. So let's say 4 and 5 stars is pretty good. That would be, most companies would be happy with that. That would account for 97% of 952 people's feedback. 952 people, I have no idea who they are. They might or they may speak my language, and they may or might have seen my video or somebody else's. And they imagine something based on my or somebody else's words, and they were satisfied with that enough to leave 5 stars. And 97% of them were happy, 4 or 5 stars. 1% 3 stars, and 2% 1 star. 1 star on this site and on Linsole and on Amazon, the poor reviews were me. And what I would do if I got a set and it started to turn off in like 5 minutes, like it cut out, because there was a moisture issue with some Meles, and it was isolated to a batch of about 50, because there was a giant explosion from me towards the company because my name is on it. What the hell is going on? It turns out that the filters that were on some of the Mele, these little circles right here, they have adhesive going around just the edge. If you've ever used a filter, put it on or off. For a reason that I have no idea, the spray over a filter batch that was about 50, that's what they nailed it down to. And judging by feedback, that's probably pretty close to accurate. The adhesive spray, it wasn't anything else. It was the moisture. The driver couldn't breathe, and the metal shell and the change of temperature caused moisture buildup, and people left reviews saying, I had it and I loved it for 10 minutes until the fucking thing died. It makes me more pissed that I actually liked it and it died on me. What in the fuck? And they were pissed. And I would do the same thing. I would leave a 1-star review and I would be bombing them with messages. I want my effing money now. I want it now. And I want a set that I paid for. So send me my money and send me a set. I'd be customer rules. So we got to talk about the Mele and who are these people? 5 stars, that's what it was supposed to be. So we won't focus on that. That's what the Japanese say, atarimai. Obviously it's supposed to work out that way. I said it was supposed to be good. Who are these people and what was the problem? Mostly it was related to those filters. If you're watching this video, I deeply apologize to you. I put my name on that. I wanted you all to be happy. You can get that, right? This is not, I'm not taking off and doing anything. I'm doing audio reviews for a long time. I didn't want anybody to have a bad experience. I certainly didn't want you to listen to some music and then be like, this is awesome, this is awesome. What the fuck's going on with the right side of my, what the? Try different cables. It's okay, it happens again. And then you want to punch your computer screen. You want to throw your phone to the ground. You have to be spoken to in this video before I start hyping another set. I'm sorry to you. If you never got serviced about that and people blew you off, you can comment under this video and I will personally address that for you to them, because we can't move forward until we take care of the past. And when 9 out of 10 people are totally stoked, we got to pay attention to the one that wasn't. Why? Fix it. And that's a look back at the Mele. I said what I think it would do because of how I listen to music at 77 dB, and most people thought it was what I said it was. There is a percentage of people here and on other platforms that had the same problem. And I wanted to speak to them in this video and say that I'm sorry. Money is money. $50 is a lot for a lot of people. And $100 is a lot for a lot more people. So let's be real here. I'm trying to hype and shill something. Let's put our feet on the ground for a second here. To this group, thank you very much for your feedback. And to this group, please accept my apology. There's no excuses. The filter, that's not your problem. I'm sorry, though. And that is a look back at the Mele. Okay, Chapter 3, the contest. The contest is that the first 500 people that get this Olina, not after that, the first 500, are going to receive this card. And on the back of this card was written by my beautiful, beautiful, beautiful better half, and she wrote every single sentence on the back of 500 cards. This one says, cold late nights so long ago, when I was not so strong, you know. I really wanted to put music into this whole thing in a way that I haven't seen anybody do. I did this first. Nobody did it. It took a lot of work. I'm very happy and proud of myself. If you buy this in the first 500 set, you are part of a team. She's writing a lyric from Sympathy for the Devil by the Rolling Stones. Pleased to meet you. Hope you guess my name. Let's say this line where my cursor is what you get in the back of your card. You get it, signed by me, with a number. She numbered it. Lyrics written by her on the back. If you post that photograph on HiFiGuides.com, which I'll link to below this video, Just take no personal stuff, just the picture of the back with the lyrics. And this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, you all find each other and you complete a verse. You're all going to get something like this upgrade to a very nice cable, which can terminate into 4.4, 2.5, 3.5. You all get it because you played like a team. Music was the thing that rallied you together, and then you all got something from it. Some people think, I don't care about that stuff. I'm a music lover. I really deeply do love this stuff. Having somebody look at the lyrics from, God, what are the other tracks that are on this? Heart, Magic Man is another track. Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb is another track. Jimi Hendrix track is one of them. Metallica, I think, is one. And Big Crit is one. I think there's 6 tracks in all. But you need to worry just about a verse. When you get a card, the lyrics on the back are part of a verse of a song. You go on to Hi-Fi Guides and look and say, or anything, and see the lyrics. The Hi-Fi Guide version is the one that I'm following, though. So the way that that's broken down as far as a verse. If those people say, this is one. If you don't want to join a forum because you're not into that, you email me. It's in the About section and say, bro, here's the thing. Contact me if we win. That's cool too. I don't want people to be joining stuff they don't want to join, but just take one pic with your smartphone, send it off to me, and I'll post it up myself. And then if this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy all get together, like, boom, we just did it. We just nailed that. We got it. That's a verse. Is that not the verse? That's the verse. Boom, everybody wins. Because you kind of got together and used the internet to... It just seems like such a cool idea to me. Maybe you guys are like, what the fuck is he talking about? I just thought this is awesome because I love music. I love the lyrics to music because they tell stories. Did you know Peter Frampton? God, what's that track? It's about a hangover. The famous track that he did. I'll skip it. Anyway, that's about a hangover. I just found that out yesterday. This is me signing. Everything is signed by me. 500 of these. It sounds like 500. It's not a big deal. Oh, Jesus Christ. I feel sorry for her. She wrote a lot more than I did. So that's the contest. Oh, these are silver. There are 6 of these in the first 500 that are written with gold. And this is an example one. So I wrote a bunch of stuff like graffiti all over it. And it's very unique. And if you get a gold card, your Olina is free. Because I'm going to personally return you the money via PayPal, and then you got Olina. So if you open this up and you see a card, check it, because if it's written in gold, you won, and you get it back. And there's actually 6 people in 500 that won the Olina. So if you get the gold card, you win. It's like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Wasn't it like a gold card or something? Bam! I'm doing the same thing. So that's the contest. I'm combining lyrics and hoping that people use the internet to quickly kind of group up or forward it to somebody because they don't want to get involved. But you will be notified if you win. And if you're interested, you can get free cables and stuff and upgrade stuff, and you can probably get a free Olina. So that's what the contest is about. It's about music. It says right here on the card, it's all about music. If you check the About Me section on my YouTube channel, it says it's all about the music. That's what it's always been about. This is just me having fun. So that's the contest. I hope you guys participate. I think it's going to be fun. So that's chapter 3. Chapter 4. OEM, Red Eyes. Let's check out OEM real quick. OEM is something a lot of people, you know what that means. Original Equipment Manufacturer. This is something that happens with everything, particularly electronics that I'm familiar with. Car audio amplifiers, subwoofers. Sometimes there's 4 or 5 different brands of subwoofer that are made at the same factory, but they have different surrounds, different dust caps, and slightly different with the logos and everything, but they're made at the same factory. Graphics cards, a lot of times there's several different brands made at the same factory, but they're sent out and they've got different... Sometimes the companies try to claim that they're not exactly the same, but people that know the caps that are on it and all that, they know when they look that this is something. In audio, it happens often. A good example of it is Red Eyes, Michael Bruce. You should subscribe to his channel. He's got 1,600, which is weird. I think because he jumps on stuff he doesn't like in a way that I used to do. I just kind of, because so many reviews started coming out, I stopped doing that, but it's authentic. And if he doesn't like something, he says it. So I would recommend you subscribe to his channel. I'm talking about this video because this is a good example of OEM. This is the Yinyu ST7, and the title is Yinyu ST7 Hello Mr. EJ07. Let me give him a thumbs up on that one. He's got 6 comments on here. That's a shame. Check out this video, by the way, because you can kind of understand. The EJ07 is a set that I have in CIM form right here, and it's in my S tier, and it was a set that I did a special video for because I got several people that sent mails to me, publicly and privately, and said, I found my magic, thing, and I'm out. Like, they checked out of the hobby. There are people that can do that, They're just like, I'm done. And the most I ever heard, still to today, is the EJ07. They said, I found what I was looking for, and I didn't know what I was looking for till I heard it. Reminded me of when I used to listen to music with my mother. That's what one dude told me. I think he said Paul Simon too, and I was like, Jesus, that sounds like me. So I have a real deep attachment to the EJ07, and Red Eyes does too. He calls it the short bus because a lot of people said, they looked at the graph and they said, well, that treble, that's falling off. It's 4 ESTs. Everything in the treble sounds fine. Cymbals sound fine. Extension sounds fine. It's not amplified to some people's perfect ideal, but it is a music playback device and it plays back my library. Fantastic. I don't ever feel wanting for anything. These 2 sets were probably made in the same factory at the same time by the same people with different cap. What I'm saying is same mother, different father. Stepbrothers. The father's the cap, pretty much, and everything else is the same. The dynamic drivers are pretty much the same, and everything else is pretty much. And down here there's a guy, Black Tip Bass Mods. And he said that he was looking for this, and thank you so much. He saved a bunch of money for this set, for getting the S7, ST7, and Michael Bruce replied and said, killer, man, welcome to the short bus, enjoy your ride. Because he knows that these are stepbrothers at the most. And if you got one, you pretty much got the other. Which one would you pick if you had to? If you were with the EJ family from the beginning, of course, but are you slumming? No. Welcome to the family. He said it himself. This is how this goes. And people sometimes in other IEMs have seen stuff, and especially in the more affordable Chi-Fi, you look at a graph and you'll think, wait a second, is that a 1DD 2BA? Because that looks just like I said, I know. Can you graph that? And you see just a slight difference, but man, you're looking inside and it looks exactly the same. And you're thinking, I think it's the same. And you're right, it's the same. It's the way the hobby works. So the Olina is basically this concept, but done in a different order. This is taking the driver from another set that is now, let me mention also that he was involved with finding and identifying the driver. Let me share a fun fact with you that you might not know. When you look at the back of a dynamic driver, you can see certain patterns and details. And you wonder, what does that have to do with anything? Identification. It's very simple. When there are people that are sitting at desks, they've got boards sometimes, especially if they're doing multiple projects on the same day. They've got to make sure that they don't put the wrong driver into the wrong shell because they're manufacturing for different sellers, and it's not the same driver, perhaps. They're IDing it partly by the design on the back of the driver. That's what I was told, amongst other things, but that's one of them. So when you look at the back of drivers, you notice these unique patterns. That's not just for visual stimulation, that's for accuracy for people that are spending their entire day sticking drivers into shells and maybe doing a little solder work or something like that. It's a very simple thing. So the Olina drivers are authentic. They were purchased from the factory by the same people that made them originally for the original company that put them out in the O2. The connection and the lineage, the authenticity is absolutely verifiable and it's perfect. And the request by Linsol to me was to be transparent. So I'm doing that in spades right now in this video. And I also wrote up something for them in their About section about this set. They wanted to do different than what I wanted to do because of relations. And in the final tuning, a battle ensued. And let me see if I can find this for you. This is the 2 sets right here. The Tantrum Auction 02 and the Olina are virtually identical, and you have seen some channel imbalances that are worse than this. These are two different sets, but there's channel bounces worse than this, and there's unit variation that's worse than this. These could be absolutely identical because one set was perfectly identical, but they backed off of that because absolutely identical was, no, can't do it. I said extension has got to be. That's the reason we're doing this. Extension, same tuning, and a shell that fits good. So they tweaked it just a little bit different, and they did that on purpose, and it caused some friction for a while. And then I realized the world does not revolve around me, center of the universe. Who is it? It's me. No, it's not. I act like that a lot of the time, though. And if you know me privately in messaging, you know that that's true. I'm absolutely super selfish. So I said, what's the problem? You bought the driver. You paid cash for it. It's free for everybody to use. Who cares if a guy in Kansas City is making one set or you're making 1,000 of them? What is the difference? Well, the difference, Chris, is that people have relations and they've got to see each other and they got to keep their pride. So we're going to do it just a teeny bit different. And they did it intentionally. It doesn't sacrifice anything, though, because from the sub bass to the mid bass to the mids to the upper mids are perfectly identical. From about 6K beyond, it might be slightly different, but that's not in any fatigue range. It's beyond the 9K. And it actually sounds virtually identical. So that's chapter 4, OEM Red Eyes. It's fascinating stuff, isn't it? If you want to know about this stuff, you're learning now. So it could be absolutely perfect identical, but it was intentionally not done. And that wasn't my wish. But only child, spoiled kid, can't always get what you want. And if you cry sometime, you just might find you get what you need. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's talk about music. Some of you skipped right to here, so let's get to it. Big Boy Kill Jill at 77 dB, listening with Olina. The bass drop sounds fine. It's not in your face. It's not as powerful as on the Mele, obviously, because the tuning isn't the same. When it gets to the bass guitar, that's where the bass steps out. I'm not really sure why, because the tuning of it is not really different in the low frequency. Sub bass is slightly different than the mid bass, but it's really like a 1.5 to 2 dB difference. I can't see what's accounting for that, but the bass guitar is more present than the drop. And the Vocaloid at the beginning, which is a computer-generated female voice and can be really fatiguing on lots of sets, some DD sets and lots of BA sets, because they give that whistle and metallic timbre, sounds perfect on this set, and it really goes to the tonality and the timbre of the set is exceptional. The separation and the extension is fucking amazing. It's a very good set. There's a reason why, even when it was up around close to $300, a lot of people said, damn good, because it is damn good. It's got a great driver. Plays this very well. It does not fatigue or offend at all to me. This is a computer voice. It's a Vocaloid. Hatsune Miku. It sounds fucking fine. Masters of Reality. We got a bassist and a drummer that are going on at the same time, so we have two low-frequency instruments that are occupying the same area of the frequency response at the same time. And there can be masking, and there can be one that's kind of overwhelming the other. The ability for you to separate and perceive both of them at the same time. You focus on one and not the other, and then you realize it doesn't sound that great. You listen to the other, and that doesn't sound great either. They kind of almost cancel each other out. It's like noise canceling. Two things happen at the same time equal kind of zero. It's to your ear because you're trying to focus on both at one, and you're not really listening to music anymore. The ability of the O2 driver is very good, and the ability to discern the drum kit replay at the same time while a guy that's doing multiple pulls and releases per second is also very clear. It's a testament to how accurate the reviews were over years with people that had different types of libraries saying this is a really good earphone because the driver is really good. It's really, really good. This is a good testament to that. This happens at approximately 2 minutes 30 seconds, 2:36, and goes on for about 30 seconds. It's a good moment where this driver shines. Low frequency attack, two instruments, does it really good. Blind Faith, Can't Find My Way Home. Eric Clapton with the intro with the guitar. Then it changes to Ginger Baker and Steve Winwood. And the cymbal strikes that happen at 27 and 38, which are very significant, and I expected was going to be maybe a little bit heavy or too loud because of the amplification in that area, actually sounded perfect. And again, I was reminded that this is a dynamic driver doing all of the work, and there's no BAs inside here. That's probably why that is. So I thought that that sounded really good actually as well. The mid bass, which is I check on Sultans of Swing by Dire Straits. I'm checking to hear if the bassist is stepping forward a little bit because of the mid bass tuning, is back because of the mid bass tuning, because it's cut, it's tucked, and how that's affecting Mark Knopfler's vocals and iconic guitar. It sounds fucking brilliant on this set. I want to use that word. This track, if you buy this set, sounds epic. So this is a bass guitarist that's coming in, and then you've got a lead singer. You can also hear the hi-hat opening and closing very clearly. So it's another, at every moment where I notice something, it's because of the resolution of this set. Hi-hat on this track is something that sometimes gets a little bit overshadowed by just the overall replay. On this, it instantly stuck out to me. That might be partly because of the extension, the upper third, fourth, fifth, sixth order harmonics. It just sounded really good. Cymbal strikes sounded great. Listening to Led Zeppelin. Let me stop for a second. Female vocals on Heart. Also on Fleetwood Mac. The Mele was great for male vocals because that's what I mostly listen to. But female vocals not as good because of the tuning. Female and male vocals both shine because of the quality of the driver and also the tuning. So if you've got a library with male and female vocals, this would be something that would be more geared towards you than the Olina. This sounded great. Fleetwood Mac sounded awesome. Fleetwood Mac is this album was created with a lot of personal chaos, and it kind of comes through in the vocals of Christy McVie and Stevie Nicks and Mick Fleetwood and Lindsey Buckingham. You can hear it in their voice. That's why this is, I think, the biggest selling album in history. One or two. I think it's number one. You can feel the emotion when it's done right. It's when the music kind of connects, like electrical circuit is closed, and it's kind of an amazing experience when you get it done very well. And the difference between the Mele and this set is kind of shown here, where I liked the replay on Mele. The vocal replay on this set is obviously superior when listening to Fleetwood Mac Rumors, because there's two male and two female vocals. They're going 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 3. There's different combinations of them on different tracks, and I thought all of it sounded fantastic. Vocals really shine on this. If clarity and the cleanse all the way up to the gain region is very important, because that is how you like it presented before you get to the ear gain region. This is in your wheelhouse, and if you've heard OT, you already know that. This is pretty much what that is. Heart with two female singers sounded fucking excellent. Jimi Hendrix guitar solos all along the Watchtower, 3 solos, the ability to discern that there's 3 different basic productions of this. The first is really garbage, the second sounds better, and the final one sounds really good. It was very easy to discern with this set. Again, the set is very good. Its driver is good. The Led Zeppelin Coda, Hey Hey What Can I Do? The cymbal strikes, which are multiple and they're very crisp and clear, sounded excellent on the set. There wasn't a weak point on the set that I could find with my library, except that the bass impact for bass drops on something like Tupac or something like that is not the same amount as Mele. In every other way, it's a superior set, but it doesn't have the slam that Mele has. But in everything else I listen to in classic rock and roll, where they don't have an electronic bass drop, where they got a 4-string bass guitar, it's the superior to the Mele. It should be because it's priced more, but it is on all parts of library except for heavy bass drops. So that's the music talk. It does the low frequency well, accurately. It does mids excellent, and it does upper mids to treble really good. It especially shines on stuff that has female vocals, instruments that have long extensions, keyboards and pianos, which goes across the entire audible range, probably sound really excellent on this. I thought Elton John sounded good, but to be perfectly honest, I didn't spend a lot of time listening to him outside of the Yellow Brick Road album, so I can't really speak to piano, but the bit that I did hear, I thought it sounded excellent. So with my library, the Olina sounds good. That means that you have a $99 set and a $49 set that will play pretty much anything. Whatever. Jazz, whatever, classical music, for $150, and one of them is really a copy of a almost $300 set. That's the music. I think it's A beast, actually. I'm a bias, obviously, but I think it's a beast. Grab them. And that's music. And then closing. Okay, closing final thoughts. I'll probably put a video at the end of this week and see a close-up in hand like I usually put on Twitter. And if I miss that, then I'll put the link for Twitter on the bottom. In closing, I'd like to say, I'll never do this again. I'll never be at this moment again. It doesn't matter how reviewers receive this. I know the people that buy this, that trust my opinions on previous recs, because I'm talking about the music. I know that they'll be happy because what I said, if that's what they want, that's what they're going to get. And they're going to get it at a good price. And they're going to get a game card with my signature on it and with lyrics on the back, and they have a chance to win stuff. There was so much work that went into all of that that I'm sure that I'll never do that again. The idea of taking a set that was hobbled by its design, for most people, it's what I read. It's what happened to me. Take the thumbs, push it in, sounds great. Take the thumbs off, a little bit less great. Shake my head, they're gone. Happened to a lot of people. So you need a set that's got some kind of problem. Why would you try to, you just making it cheaper? No, it's about fit, man. It's about fit and then sound quality. Good fit and sound quality, put it together. I can't think of a reason why this would come up again. And then putting the music cards with it, with lyrics where people can maybe get together if they so choose to do. That's so much went into this. I had to send those back. There was lots of sending back and forth stuff to China during the COVID, which is really hard. I got to say thank you to Linsol because they did everything I asked them to do. The cards, all of this. I worked on this with them. This image was downloaded by me and edited in paint.net and then sent back to them in PNG form and said, could you put this on a card and put it's all about the music like it says in my channel description, because it's all about the music. And then I want to write. Then I think a week later I sent a mail and said, hey, I want to write lyrics on the back. Can you send those cards to me? And then I'll send them back to you. And I got to think that she was like, what? You want me to send the cards to you in the middle of COVID and all these problems, and then you're going to sign them, and then you're going to send them back? And then like a day later, she's like, oh, it sounds great. All right, I'm going to send them to you. And then it took like 2 weeks, and I was like, I need those cards. Oh, sure, I'm sending them. I think they're on the way. Can I get those cards? And it was like, he really is going to do this. Yeah, I really did that. I had a blast with this, and this moment will never come again as a influencer. There'll be other things, but this taking a almost perfect thing and trying to make it get over the finish line in the way I thought it couldn't, and then do it for less money and present it to a crowd of people that's a big deal. It's a special. So the people that buy this, especially the first 500, thank you so much for participating. Thank you to everybody. You guys make this possible. You believing in me, dramas that have happened, all this kind of stuff. The more you get big in any sphere, the more you are gonna get arrows slung at you. Some of them are real pointed arrows, and it's your fault that they're shot at you. And then there's others that are not. But that's what happens to everybody that gets. I see people talking about. I saw some people mention Kryn in a negative way a year ago. Sometimes they'd be like, that guy. Now he gets a YouTube channel, it gets big, and there's people crapping on him left and right. That dude, what does he listen with? The more you get out into the public's eye, the more eyes that are watching you, the more people that want to step on you. That's the way it goes, and that's cool. It's not cool, but it can't be helped. But this is special. I'm very stoked. How reviewers receive this is not really important to me, like the Mele. It's really important that the people that buy this and spend their hard-earned money for this, I want to hear what you guys think. Comment below this video, and then I'll do a video especially just for you. Tell me what you think. It's your money. You think you spent it well? Is the stuff I said, do you think it turned out that way? I want to know. Let me know. I'm here because of you. So thank you in advance, and I look forward to your feedback. I want everybody to see it. Don't crap on other people. If someone says they don't like it and then you come behind them and said, you must have crap in your ears, I'm going to delete that, okay? Let's all be nice and speak like adults just for the algorithm in YouTube, and be polite. You don't like it, that's cool. Explain why. That's what I would ask you. If you like it, mention a song and why you like it. because it does something that might help another person that's on the fence. If you don't like it, do the same thing. I don't like it because the beginning of Marvin Gaye, Sexual Healing, sounded not enough bass to me. Like, give a specific, because that might help the guy behind you that's reading your comment thinking, oh, okay, I'm out. Or I'm in. Like, the positive or negative feedback is feedback, the return of the input. It's very important for everybody involved. So thank you if you take the time to do that. And if you buy it and you do that, thank you very much. I appreciate it. And this is a way too long video, and I'm out. Thank you.